Hi guys, it's Deborah. Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to share a bunch of different products that I've been using during my fasting window while I'm doing alternate day fasting. And I'm going to share the products that I use and how I use them. But then I have a super fun and exciting new product that I've started using recently, and I just want to share that with you guys. So let's go. Hi guys, so I have been doing alternate day fasting for over 100 days, coming up to 4 months. I have lost over 23 pounds. I have just gained so many things from following an alternate day fasting lifestyle. So I'll just share briefly my protocol. I have a very strict protocol. So I do alternate day fasting. So I do it I take my 48-hour chunk of time. I've split it into, currently I'm in a 40-hour fast with an 8-hour eating window, which gives me a 48-hour chunk of time. And that just continually repeats. I do not implement a cheat day or just take days off here and there. I have been following this strict alternate day fasting protocol since August 1st, 2022. So when I first started alternate day fasting, I had just found out about alternate day fasting. I really didn't know anything about it. I had done some fasting before, and I'd done some intermittent fasting, but I had never done an extended water only, like water and coffee only fast for, I guess, over 20 hours. So I was like a little bit intimidated, I won't lie. But what I did just before I started was I had done a bit of research on the benefits of fasting. And so I personally decided to implement a very strict fasting protocol. And that has been what I have done for these over 100 days. Is my fasting window is my top priority. And I stick to a very squeaky clean fast. So I want to preface this video by sharing the fact that I am just sharing the products I use. None of these are sponsored by anybody. I have this is kind of my little arsenal of fasting products that I love, that I use, and that have helped me through my fasting window. I'm in no way endorsing, recommending, advising any of these products. I'm purely sharing from a point of view of the things I've used, how they've helped me. And I highly recommend, if you see something that is interesting to you, do some research around it. I've probably researched almost everything that I'm going to show you here today, and I've made the educated choice to use them in my life, in my alternate day fasting lifestyle. And so the only thing I recommend is that you do your research on the products that you choose to use, regardless of whether it's the tea or the salts or all these other things that I'm going to share. I just want to really stress that I'm not endorsing any of these. I'm providing, simply my intention is to provide a list of things that have helped me and just introduce that these products may also help you if you choose to implement them in your alternate day fasting journey. So the most common beverage to drink when you're fasting is water. And what I do is I buy, those big, huge jugs. You can buy them at Costco. Up here, we have several filtered water companies. So I bought one of those big, huge jugs, and I just go and they refill it. So I'm not always buying this huge jug. So it's recyclable. And I don't know, it costs me about $7 to fill it, which is probably really expensive, but it's probably because of where I live and access to good quality water. The other thing I do in regards to water is I have one of these Brita filter containers. The little inside the container is a shaft, and you can buy these insert filters, which is not, I think it's just charcoal. But anyways, if I'm on the run and I don't have access to a store or whatever, I can just use tap water in my Brita thing. And I'm sure there's other brands out there that have a similar concept. Yeah, so I do that. And also if I don't have that container with me, the water that I buy is really high quality water. One of the ones I really like right now, the brand is Smart Water, because they've come up with some new things. They have mineral, like a mineral water. They have an alkaline, like with a really good pH level. And they have some other ones. So I stick to really good high quality water, especially during my fasting. So also along the lines of water is I have several drinking containers that I love. So always in my hand is my special mug for at home. I'm trying to find a glass one. I'm not sure if Starbucks has one. Anyways, this is always beside me. And I just pump my filtered water in there. And what I do is I just leave it in the fridge, so it's always nice and cold, or I add ice cubes to it, but I always have it near me. I'm like always sipping on water. And then also with my Brita, because this one is double walled, so I put really, if I'm not using the filter part, I just fill it with ice cold water, a couple ice cubes, and then I also have a couple other to-go containers like this, and some of them are bigger, and I just fill them with ice. I keep them in my car, and then, you know, if I'm like, especially for me, when I'm working, I work in a remote area, and I'm doing a physical job, so I need to have always my water on hand. So that's what I do. So the next most important thing for me when I'm fasting is my coffee. It's like, for me, it's my breakfast in the morning, and sometimes I have two, sometimes I just have the one. Just depends on the day and what I'm doing and stuff like that. I don't drink coffee after noon, like after lunchtime, because otherwise I would be up till next Tuesday. So I try to limit, because I only drink my coffee black. I don't put anything, I don't put sweeteners, creamers, nothing. I stick to just black coffee. So very recently, for me in the last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, I started to implement tea. I never drank tea before, or very, very rare. But what happened was I was experiencing some gut health issues and bloating issues around what I was consuming during my eating window, but I won't talk too much about that in this video. So what I did to kind of ease the bloating, the gas, and the pain, and I was having nausea, I was really in a situation. So I decided to do some research around different products during my fasting window that I could implement to help with those. And so one of the things I decided to implement is fennel seed tea. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, this is an organic brand, very high quality. And the fennel seed tea helps me just with stomach. It's very calming to my stomach. I quite like it. It has a little bit of a licorice taste, but the other one is this dandelion leaf and root tea. This is more of known to be sort of a liver detox, but it's a general body detox. And as I'm trying to heal my gut, it just feels really good. And I find it flushes. I go, I find myself going to the bathroom more, which is awesome. Because, the whole point is to just detox those nasty things out of our body. Now this one, I don't have the box anymore, but this is the Yogi brand. I actually really love this brand. I also love the traditional medicines, and I'm in Canada, so I don't know if these products are available in other countries, but I'm sure there's brands wherever you're located. And these are there's so many different teas out there. It's pretty amazing, actually. I'm just starting to discover. So my newest find is This is a really great brand. It was so expensive, but I wanted to try. So it's a combination of ginger, galangal, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and golden turmeric. Because that was one of the things I had researched when I was looking for things that would decrease the inflammation that I experience. And so for me, this was a way to incorporate getting some of those anti-inflammatory and gut healing properties into my diet, especially when I'm fasting. So this product, I didn't start using this at the beginning of my alternate day fasting journey, but I definitely use this for almost every fast. Just a couple times I forgot when I was rushing, putting my water together to run out the door. So what I did was there was a couple weeks where I was just really dealing with some fatigue and different things. So I decided I wanted to implement some electrolytes into my fasting protocol, but the only ones I had ever used contained, it was like a sugary, like even the last one that I was using, I remember had stevia in it, but it was so sweet. And I knew, because I keep my fasting protocol really strict, really tight, and I didn't want to put any sweeteners whatsoever in my water, anything that I consumed. So I went on the search for an electrolyte supplement that I could put in my water that didn't have any of those things. So I went to my local, it's kind of like a Whole Foods, and just talked to the owner of the store and just explained what I was doing. So he highly recommended this. These are drops. This is what the brand is. Anyway, this contains potassium, chloride, and magnesium. And it's in a base of natural saltwater, purified saltwater from the area that I'm local to, which is the Pacific. So it doesn't have sodium per se other than the salt water. So what I've been doing, and I'm sorry, I don't know all the ratios and things like that. It seems to be working for me, and I'm sure there's other products out there that are similar. And, there is a bunch of information that you should have, the percentages that break it down. I don't go that deep into this. So what I do also is I use the super high quality real salt, Redmond's real salt, because in here is, it's an unrefined minerals. So it comes from somewhere in the United States, and it's the best quality salt that I have ever used. So what I do is in my water, I put my electrolytes, which is potassium and magnesium, and then I add a pinch of this salt. I'm not crazy about salty water, but I will usually fill this one time with that concoction and drink it. I'm not crazy about the taste. This isn't too bad. Obviously, there's nothing in here except for the products I just said. There's no sugar, there's no flavorings, nothing. So it has a bit of a, I don't know, kind of like a bland taste, and then with the salt helps, but it's just not my favorite. So I try to get that in. So those are my electrolytes. I am interested at some point in trying some of these other products out there. I've well established into my alternate day fasting lifestyle. I'm coming up to 4 months. I feel really solid. So some of these next things that I'm going to share with you are very new things I have decided I wanted to start implementing. And I feel confident that I know if they're not going to work for me, it's not going to be something that totally throws me out of alternate day fasting. So the other thing I want to share too, just around the tea and the detox aspect of what happens during your fast, is because I'm dealing with healing my gut and a lot of digestive issues, and just how things are functioning for me are really, it was pretty broken. So I'm healing those things and things are getting better. Like every day I notice so many differences. I noticed that my bloating has gone down, and even with less consumption of carbohydrates, especially rice and potatoes, and I was eating a lot of oatmeal. I'm still having oatmeal, but anyway, what happens for me is when I eat in my 8-hour eating window, I would imagine it's taking me about close to 36 hours to digest that food. And that's why alternate day fasting for me has been so helpful, because by the time my eating window opens, I don't feel bloated or I just remember back when I was eating every day, and even if the times when I had a shorter eating window, and I've tried variation of different forms of intermittent fasting, by the time I went to open my eating window again, it still felt like I was digesting food, but I was eating it. I have a couple of my videos where I show my gut before I started alternate day fasting. It was so incredibly bloated. Yeah, so anyways, I'll share that picture. Maybe I'll post it up here. So what I started doing is implementing this product. I have taken this on and off throughout the years. This is it's called Renew Life Cleanse More, and I'm not sure if this is a Canadian company, but it's very natural, and there's no harsh anything in there. I think that one of the things that helps me the most that is in this product is marshmallow root, I believe. Anyway, I'm not advising, recommending anything like that. This is a product that I use, and what it does for me is, and I usually take it about 2 or 3 hours after I close my eating window. So, just before I go to bed, and I drink a lot of water at that moment because it helps. If you're interested in using this product, do some research, read the instructions and all that kind of stuff. Make sure that anything that you use here is okay for you and your health conditions and all that stuff. So another great thing that I have incorporated into my fasting window, and I don't do this one very often, and this is going to lead into my big surprise reveal, so stay with me. So obviously every once in a while I drink San Pellegrino, because this is a carbonated natural mineral water, and I try to stick to really high quality. There are even higher quality products like Pellegrino, and once in a while I will indulge that. They're just super expensive. So sparkling mineral water. So you're getting the addition of the minerals as well as the fun bubbly taste. I do really enjoy having my Pellegrino during my during my fasting window. Especially, this really helps if you're going through a stage of your fasting window, and I will really emphasize that fasting, in your fasting window from the hour 20 to the hour 24, 25, for a lot of people is so intense. It can be the thing that throws you off. I totally get that. For me, in my early days, it was a war, but I was so determined to push through that. And certainly with the consistency of my protocol, so I do this every day, going into 4 months, I have moments of hunger during my fasting window, but it's nothing like those first few days or weeks that you're establishing alternate day fasting. So if you're new to alternate day fasting, and I know many of you have shared with me those struggles, and I totally understand. And some of these things are really helpful. I didn't start adding the salt into my water until very recently, and I find it really nips hunger in the bud. At least, whatever little bit of relief you can get for yourself, and then knowing that it does pass. Once you pass over the that threshold of 25, maybe 26 hours is going to be different for everybody. And not everybody experiences that intense zone, what I call the red zone of what happens to your body. For me, I understand that it's when your ghrelin levels are just like maxed out, and it really is a mental game. But also the Pellegrino creates a full feeling in your stomach because of all the carbonation. Unfortunately for me, it actually creates some pain, but less so. So yeah, and then there's also things like not flavored sparkling water, but sparkling water with this particular brand has what they call natural essence. I did do a bit of research, and there is some controversy around this particular company, but I feel like it's okay to, I'm personally going to start adding these in. I ended up having one, somebody had given me, I forget the brand, I think Smart Mouth, and it was lemon essence. This is the new marketing thing, you know. I feel like it's okay for me to add this. There's absolutely no sugar. It's just a flavoring. So I do, and I've only started this maybe in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So if I'm on the run and I'm feeling hungry, this kind of product, if I don't have my Pellegrino, because it's such a big bottle, I think you can get these in littler bottles, but this has been really nice. It's been something that really just nips my hunger in the bud, and I'm enjoying them, and so I will continue to use these. So now this is going to lead me into my big reveal. So this next share that I have is incredible, and I want to share it because maybe it's going to help you, especially during those moments of fasting challenges. And I consider this like such a treat. It's the best thing I could have done for myself during my fasting. But what I did recently find was I have bought this little gadget, which I'll share with you. And what it does is it just makes, I guess it's shaved ice. There are tons of ice making machines out there, but this is something that can actually give a nice crunch. So, So what I've done a couple of times is I've just taken my little container of my shaved ice, and I will just, especially if I'm watching a movie or something, and it's just frozen water. And so it just provides me with this nice feeling of crunching. And then what I do is, so I've got it in this little mason jar. I don't know how many liters that is. So I fill it up with my shaved ice, and then I take I like lemon. I take my sparkling water with lemon natural essence, and I add it to my shaved ice, and I just kind of fill it to, about just not quite covering the shaved ice. And then, actually it needs a little bit more. I swear, it's like a slushy. I used to love slushies when I was a kid. Oh, I probably put too much. I don't know if you can see without me spilling it, but literally as the sparkling water connects with it, I'm actually fasting right now. Guys, this is such a fun treat. And it's like, I use a wide glass straw, so you actually get some of the ice crystals, and it requires some crunch. I don't know, this for me has been like the funnest thing ever. It's like a treat, it's like a dessert for me, and it fills me up so much, and it also gives me the opportunity to crunch. Anyways, oh, and I'll share with you, so the machine I bought is this little, oops, I just made this, so it's still drippy. This is what it looks like. This is Dash. This was only, like, I'm in Canada, I don't know if you can see. Anyways, it's just like that. You fill this little container with just ice cubes, and what I do is I take my filtered water, fill the ice, a normal ice cube tray, and then you just feed it into that. That cup right there is probably about, I don't know, 6 ice cubes, maybe 4 or 5. And then it just runs. You put your little cup or bowl or something under there, turn it on, and it just shaves the ice, and you can just start crunching away or make your slushy. I think I added too much. I like it like an actual slushy. It's so incredible. And I'm going to try some other sparkling water brands. I know one time I saw one that was cherry or watermelon. But I'm still researching, because it's really important to me that I have the healthiest natural product. Because, yeah, guys, that one is the bomb. So I thought, just as a couple extra little tips of things that I use for my fasting window, is I use a fasting app. The one I use is called Window. I really love it, but I had to pay for it. I got it right at the beginning of when I started my alternate day fasting, because I wanted that visual, and it's really a magical thing that happens for me when I hit the end eating window. Like, it's just a button. It says start fasting, end fasting. And that is so incredible for me. It helps me to know, okay, boom. I don't know, I've described in some of my other videos that mental shift that happens to me. I go from here to here. I keep them very separate. So that one, it also tracks my weight. I can enter my weight, and I can see, the little graph is going down and down. I love that. And there's a bunch of free ones out there. I think a lot of people use one called Zero. But yeah, so using the app. The other thing I do in my phone, I have scheduled, I think maybe a month and a half in advance. I've gone through, and every single day I make an all-day appointment, or I schedule an all-day event, and I call it fast or eat. So I can see a month in advance, and I've colored my fast as gray and my eat day as pink. And that is great also. So and I get little notifications, not that I need them anymore, but it was helpful to say, okay, it was like this window of time to start preparing myself, especially in the early days. And also, the thing that I noticed is really helpful about scheduling my phone calendar is, if someone says, hey, do you want to come for dinner on such and such a day? I just quickly look. And if it's my fast day, I just say I can't that day. Or usually that scenario is happening with my son. And so he's like, hey, Mom, do you want to come for dinner on the weekend? And I'll look at my phone and I'll say, okay, can we do Saturday? Because it's my eat day. And he's like, absolutely. So, I have not had to confront an issue around going to a social event on my fast day. But I know that scenario is coming up over the holidays. And so I'm working through that right now. I thought of making a video around that, but I just don't feel like I have the actual experience to share that. But I am using this thing that I have established in my calendar to kind of plan, because I think one of the most important things about your fasting is don't be blindsided. Put in enough things in place so that you can be prepared up front. And then two of the really huge things that have helped me, especially in those early days, you're going through that critical red zone fast, is do things like have your sparkling water, fill yourself up, try to get rid of some of that ache, that hunger ache. That's the first thing. Then find a tea that really is soothing for you, and then have, for me, having a really hot bath. And what I do now is I put Epsom salts in my bath, I found one that is scented with vanilla. So sometimes just that scent is very helpful as well. A lot of people use candles and different things. I have found, and that Epsom salt just draws things out of your body, and it's cozy and it's soothing and it's warming. I also have different bubble baths, and I find the scent is really comforting for me. And then, so if you're in that crazy wild zone, so those are the things that I do. I fill up on my sparkling water, or have a tea, really hot tea, have my hot bath, and then I get so cozy. I get my favorite jammies on, because for me, that window usually happens in the evening, so it's triggering some different things, especially like emotional stuff. So I comfort myself with my favorite pajamas, my favorite blankets, my favorite pillows. I get all cozy in my little fur baby guys. They seem to know, and they come and they cuddle me. So that's it, guys. Those are the things that I use that have helped me on my alternate day fasting journey for over 100 days. I think I'm at like 108 today. So, and I've done alternate day fasting consistently. I use these tools and resources and products, and they have been one of the most important things that have helped me during my fasting. But probably the most important one, I just want to leave sharing this, is the mental game. Get in. I have, over all my videos that I've produced, I highly stress your success declaration. So I'll put another link where you can pick up that free guide that I've created. It's sort of the structure that I use to build my alternate day fasting journey. And yeah, so guys, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more content from me, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.